Dear friends, we are here in Mandalay, on the top of the Royal Mandalay Palace, and we will make together here a special visit to the Royal Mandalay Palace to understand together better the history of the most important and famous ruby in the history of Mogok, the Naak ruby. That was a property of the royal family of King Thibaut nearly 150 years ago, and was stolen by the British or was hid by King Thibaut and disappear with the woman that went out from the palace when the British conquest Mandalay, because General Sladen that conquest the Mandalay Palace and the upper Myanmar allowed the women of King Thibaut, all the women, to come out from the palace. And they suspect that many women, under their dress, they carry gold, rubies and other things. This is the version of the British. The version of Myanmar King Thibaut is that the British stolen many of his royal regalia, included the famous 78-carat Naga Mauk ruby. We will go here together to see what happened in this Mandalay Royal Palace. Dear friends, we are in Mandalay Royal Palace. Here we see, this is the old Royal Palace from the Burmese kings in Mandalay. Everything is rebuilt because the royal palace was in wood, and so during the Second War, when arrived the Japanese, they burn, bomb, they destroy, so they rebuild in the same, with the same style. Now we make a trip inside the palace. Here we make a trip. We go to see what happened inside. See this. It's not too hot because we are in December 2015. Normally Mandalay is a very hot place. I think one of the hottest in Myanmar. You see here they rebuild everything. How they was living the Burmese kings. We make together a trip here in the Mandalay Royal Palace. There we see some monk. It's a huge area, very big, in the middle of Mandalay town. Here is the reproduction of King Thibaut and the Queen, 1878. Here there is a nice story about a ruby. The Mauk ruby is the most famous ruby ever found, that belonged to King Thibaut. But when they arrived, the British, at the end of 19th century, they conquered the palace. And is supposed, they think, that this ruby disappeared, and General Sladen, and that was the British man that entered in the palace, took for himself and sold back in England. But is only, they suppose that happened like that, because this huge ruby was 80 carat, and this Naga Mauk ruby was never found, and the king was sent in exilium in India. He complained that the British stolen to him this ruby. And this is the most famous ruby in the history of rubies. So there is a legend. There is still a design of this ruby. It was a CABOCHON. And this ruby was split in two. The miner that found gave half of this ruby to the king, King Thibaut, and half of the ruby he sold privately. When the ruby know that was sold privately, they burn the village of the miner, and all the family of the miner was burned. And he took both ruby. But after, one that was called the Naga Mauk ruby, from the name of the miner, was disappear from the, with the English, with the British, we can say, and disappear, and nobody know where it is at the moment. Maybe it was a recut in gem, but originally it was a cabochon. You see, the palace is really huge, cantina here, there. There are many different things where there was living the people. But in reality, even if they made it perfectly, is a reproduction. Is a reproduction of the original one. So with this super story of the Naak ruby, that still is a mystery, is a ruby legend, special for Myanmar people. The biggest, the most beautiful in quality, the most exclusive. This is the top of the ruby ever found. Nobody at the moment know where it is. And these remain, I think, the most expensive ruby, if somebody will find in the future, in the history of the Mogok mines. So with this beautiful view of the Mandalay Palace, this is a super view of the Mandalay Palace, the Royal Mandalay Palace, we can say hello to our friends And with this history of the Naga Mauk ruby, we can say hello to everybody and see us to the next video. Mandalay Palace and Naga Mauk ruby, 80 carat ruby, disappear in the dream of all the ruby lovers. An 80 carat ruby. Never heard before of 80 carat ruby of this quality. Nearly 80, 78. They calculate that it was 78 carat. This King Thibaut, Mandalay Palace and Naga Mauk ruby. Bye bye bye, see you to the next ruby video dream.